Three-decade fight trainer James Gogue and boxing writer Joseph Herron examined boxing's biggest problems on the June 28 edition of W.A.W Radio.
Because the very first question I asked, well, the great Mr. Don Chargan was, why on earth is Canelo Alvarez versus Liam Smith being thrust onto the fans on pay-per-view? And he said, well, it's because of the lack of the dates from HBO. They're not willing to pay for anything right now. They're not really high on the sport of boxing. And, you know, it's what we feared, guys, was going to happen. We talked about this.
Broadcast HBO. Jeez.
Well, I don't know if they're broke. They're just, you know, don't see boxing as a very wise investment for their programming dollars, especially when their original series are doing much, much better in the ratings. They can't seem to go wrong with their original series. They're always very, very lucrative and very popular for them. But for some strange reason, boxing just isn't, Gogie. So in your opinion, do you think this is someone, and I asked Don if this was something that, well, fight fans had to look forward to. And he said, well, it very well could be. You know, it could be, boxing could end up mirroring the UFC business model. Every major premium event being thrust on the pay-per-view platform. What does that do to the current health of boxing in America, Gogie?
Yeah, this is, you know, a lot of, like I said, it all comes back to what makes boxing successful in the long run. You got to develop attractions. You got to develop ticket sellers, and that's what boxing ain't doing over here. Not like in England. England, okay, Eddie Hearns gets it. Frank Warren gets it. Eddie Hearns was saying, I remember I was listening to one of his videos, and he was saying that, you know, 80% of his revenue comes from ticket sales, and only 20% comes from TV. But it's completely different over here. You know, damn near 95% of the money comes from TV revenue, and 5% comes from ticket sales. So if that's the case, these damn promoters over here, you know, it doesn't give them an incentive to go out there and push tickets. Because, you know, you've seen all these fraud promoters they have here in the USA. You know, they call themselves promoters, but, you know, I'm no names mentioned, but what the hell do they do to develop their fighters into, you know, attractions, to ticket sellers? Nothing. There's only a few of them that are left, that are living here in the States. Arum is probably the best right now at it. Don Chargan in his prime, you know, he and Russell Peltz, they understand it. But the other promoters here, no comment and everything, yeah. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, boxing has lost a lot of its popularity here. You know, it's these lazy-ass promoters, these non-innovative promoters. You know, they don't know how to, you know, get to the fighters hot and make them, you know, gate attraction ticket sellers. Top Rank's going back to that business model, okay? They got away from it for a while, but now they're getting back into it. Compared to England, boxing here in the States, pretty dismal.
Yeah, boy, and it's the landscape looks dismal right now, and it's just going to be interesting to see how the rest of this year materializes. If this is a transition year for boxing, well, it doesn't look like a very healthy one in the States. It remains to be seen, and especially when you have fighters like Canelo Alvarez and Danny Jacobs who want to seemingly prolong the inevitable. If you thought Canelo was a lone wolf in his avoidance of Gennady Golovkin, well, think again, guys. It looks like no one in the middleweight division wants to take on the Goliath known as Triple G. Danny Jacobs in New York was interviewed by FightHype.com. And he stated to them, well, you know what, I'd like to build that fight. You know, right now I'm just thinking about Sergio Mora. You know, I'll fight him, but not for another maybe year and a half. End quote. Gogie, what's going on here, man?
Joe, that's one of the reasons why boxing is dismal here. You know, the best don't want to fight the best. The best are avoiding those fights that fans want to see. Okay, and this is a perfect example of that bitch Danny Jacobs, who's not even a champion. He's a junior champion. Okay, Gennady Golovkin is the WBA champ. The WBA because you know they're a crooked organization, and a fraud organization. They created another belt, the regular champion, just to get, some more revenues coming in to the company, that 3%. The WBA, they started this crap, okay? And it gives boxing a bad stigma, and just giving him a belt so he could call himself champion is a bunch of baloney. There's only one Super Bowl champion, and that's who that is, the Denver Broncos. Here in boxing, Gennady is a recognized champion, but you look at all these other publications, you'll see the WBA with all their champions in one division. It's a fraud, and that's another reason why boxing, it sucks over here. The best don't want to fight the best. The best don't want to give the fights don't want to give the fight fans what they want to see. Canelo, everybody wanted to see that fight. That fight was it was a sizzler, and people were expecting Canelo to step up. Since after his last fight, he got in the ring and started talking all that shit. Oh, we're from Mexico. We take all challenges on. But all of a sudden, when it was time to step up to the plate, the Mighty Cohen, decides to vacate his title. Never in the history of boxing have you seen a fighter from Mexico do that? Okay, not a guy who's put on the pedestal by the Mexican media over there has the man, has the guy, has the boxing god over there, as the top fighter. You don't see, that never happened before. But when this Mighty Cohen did that, and just gave up his belt because he didn't want to take the challenge the fans wanted to see. You know what I mean? Fans are sick of this shit. And fans are the ultimate bosses in boxing. Then you got guys you got idiots like Mayweather and all these Mikey Garcia supporting them. Man, that was a great business decision. That's a great business decision. Well, guess what? The fans are getting sick of this stuff, and they forget who the bosses are. You know what I mean? The real bosses, the ultimate bosses are the fans, not these damn fighters. And that's what, Joe, I'm sick of it, man. When you told me that today, I said, oh God, this prima donna, this coddled bitch that Al Heyman built up, fighting nobodies. Then when he had to step it up, he got knocked the F out by Pirog, okay? Then because of Al's connection, he kept him busy. Then he got him some bullshit belt. You know what I mean? Then he finally gets a great win. He knocks out Peter Quillen in his hometown, Battle of Brooklyn. And guess what? He hasn't fought since then. How the hell do you increase your exposure, your brand, your marketing power by not fighting, okay? He's not even on the schedule to fight again this year. And this, let's build this fight up and this like he's Floyd Mayweather. Oh, come on, man. Fans are sick of this stuff, and I am too. And who gives a shit about Danny Jacobs? Okay, who cares? He's not the champion, man. Fans out there, he's that belt that the WBA gave him so they could get some more money for their organization. The WBA is a fraud organization out of Panama. He's not the champion. The real champion is Gennady Golovkin, okay? He's the real champion, and they want to make that fight. You know what, Joe? The WBA should do? They should mandate that fight. Okay, you got to fight them, okay? Danny Jacobs, okay? You're the mandatory to fight him, and let's see what he does. Does he pee in his pants and give up his belt like a little bitch he is, or does he take the challenge? Okay, let's see. Okay, but they ought to do that just like the WBC to get rid of all this crap, man. He's not even a champion. You know what I mean? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it in boxing. I'm sick of it. That's why, the perception of people at boxing, the average fan out there in boxing that don't follow boxing or that are not hardcore fans, they don't want to follow this crap because of the way it's done. You know what I mean? They want, attract that mainstream fan, not the average hardcore fan like me and you, Joe, but that mainstream. You're going to have some sizzler fights. That fight with Thurman and Porter, everybody, PBC and their propaganda machine. What a great fight! Oh, please, man, that's a fight I expect when I watch network TV. Okay, when I was coming up in the 70s and 80s, Joe, fights like that were the norm. Rosario, like I said Sunday on our Sunday show, Rosario, Edwin Chapo Rosario, Jose Luis Ramirez, Tony Lopez, Rocky Lockridge, Vander Holyfield versus Dwight Quaid. Fights like that were the norm. Okay, now PVC, they finally get it and get one right. Now they think, they think they found the magical solution to save boxing. Oh, come on, man. That's the stuff they should have been putting on all the time. But because Al, when he started this crap off, he started putting, you've seen the matchups he put on, crappy matchups, and that's why his ratings were sinking like the Titanic. Hey, it turned fans off, Joe. It turned fans off.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like you've got a little to get off your chest there, James.
Well, I'm just telling the truth. Everything I've said everything I've said hasn't been a lie. Everything I've said is, it's just, sometimes the truth is brutal in boxing, okay? But sometimes the truth is brutal in boxing. And Danny Jacobs, I mean, to build it up in this. What do you mean build it up, man? The hell build it up, man. You don't know what's going to happen a year and a half from now, okay? And Danny Jacobs, like he's got the pull, like he's got the fan support behind him nationwide to have that leverage to do it. Golovkin he's the top dog. He's the one that sells out the arenas in Madison Square Garden and in the Forum. When he comes to Texas, he's going to pack it over here. He's the A side. Danny Jacobs he's a low B side, okay? But he's with Al, and him fighting twice a year or once a year, yeah, that's really great for his career. That's really going to build his exposure up, okay? Shit, I'm sick of this shit, Joe. And that's why boxing, hey, look, all you got to do is look at the decline in the ratings. There's hardly no ticket sellers in boxing in America. You go to England, it's a complete opposite. Every week they're getting sold out events. Every week they're getting high ratings on TV, okay? And fans are buying tickets. They're not getting nothing given away like that bitch Al Heyman did when he first started, okay? I think he gets it now, Joe. I don't think he's giving away free tickets like he used to. The dumbass, the arrogant prick. He finally gets it. The arrogant prick that thinks he knows everything. He gets it. But, he's done more damage to boxing, Joe, since I've been in this crap than any person in boxing I've ever seen done. King, they used to bitch about King, how he ripped off fighters and da-da-da-da-da. But guess what? King cared about fans, and he cared about putting asses in the seats. And, he was a master promoter. When he had a fight going on, or any fight that he was promoting, he was master promoter, a workaholic. You don't see that for that piece of shit Heyman. That dude, he don't even do interviews. You don't even see him at the fights. He gets his puppet promoters to do the promoting, okay? Everybody knows them puppet promoters don't call the shots. The puppet master is Al Heyman, but, he don't even want to be a real promoter, but he wants to act like one. He's a bitch, and he's done more poison for boxing, and that's why this boxing, it's not England right now is hot, and that's why boxing in America it's falling way, way, way behind. And that in the professional boxing world, he's done more harm and creating this entitlement, this self-entitlement with his fighters. Now all his fighters want to act like Floyd Mayweather, and they can't sell tickets, okay? They all act like a bunch of spoiled little pampered bitches they are, okay? That's what they are. They ain't real fighters. A few of them I respect, okay? I like Porter. He's a good guy. Thurman, there's a few of them. But majority of Heyman fighters, they could kiss my ass.
No, for that heated rant, Gogue, you receive the War Week round of applause.
Hey Joe, I'm just being truthful. I'm tired of this stuff, man. In order for boxing to survive, it needs those smoking fights like Thurman and Porter. Man, that's the norm. That's don't all these fans are, oh my God, fans. I in the 70s and 80s they were like that all the time. Network TV. Okay, when I saw this fight, I said, okay, great. That's the way it should be. Now these guys are talking about like it was the greatest fight they've seen ever, fight of the century. If you read that PBC propaganda machine going right now, hey man, that's the final fight you should be putting all the time. All the time. You guys got all the fighters. You guys have all the potential matchups for to be like this all the time, but you don't do it. Why? Because Al babies him. He protects him. Okay, that's why.